Good day, howdy y'all. This is a video that began a month ago when we visited a library nearby. We were in the children's section, my partner, my daughter, and I. And we were on our way out. We had a good 12 books or so, maybe half from the children's section, half from the broader section of the library. And she strikes up a conversation with a little girl, and then soon enough this little girl's brother comes over. The little girl's brother is a 6-year-old, and the little girl's 3, my daughter 4. They all hang out for a while and get to talking, and we got to listen in on them, and that's what this painting came from. So the boy kept bringing up Harry Potter, which I found was really interesting because Harry Potter wasn't introduced into my life until a little bit later, like when I was 7 or 8, but it was introduced in the way a Bible would be. So for these backwards people, Harry Potter makes sense to be that, witches and wizards and a secret hiding in plain sight club of gang sign throwers and so forth. And then this person continued to talk about Star Wars, and then dinosaurs inevitably came up because in this children's section, as is with many children's sections across the world that I've seen, dinosaurs are plenty and they emphasize them all the time. And here my daughter theoretically is pictured saying, dinosaurs are made up creatures inspired by reptiles and birds. They make no sense. And then this little, quote unquote boy with the curve in the back and orange dino shirt says, well, they were around 66 million years ago. To go along with their numerical bullshit. And then, you have a bird and a turtle here, turtle being lifted up by the bird. And the bird says, finally, Jeevesy, a voice of reason. You finally get the respect we deserve. And then the turtle says, indubitably, my good comrade. Because the dinosaurs obviously, and then Dino says, oh man, like fantastical Dino was present, of course. So the avians and reptiles represent what dinosaurs have come to be. I think originally it was just lizard, but they've been depicted with more feathers and more bird-like over the years. I think that's the genesis of them, is mostly birds and reptile deviations. And then mechanical. I think you got the crane, you've got for the maybe Brachiosaurus, and then you got the wrecking ball for the Ankylosaurus and so forth. But changing the conversation on this from a young age. When I was young, Jurassic Park was very popular. It came out the year I was born, I believe, yeah. And those images are seared into my brain, just like those of Land Before Time, which is a wonderfully animated movie, one of the best I've ever seen, purely on its magical value, how beautifully it's rendered, made, music, everything. The experience of that film is quite special. And you could have swapped out Littlefoot, Sarah, and Petrie, and Ducky, and so forth from Land Before Time with maybe turtles and lizards and a bird, and it would have been just as good of a movie, but they had to put on the dinosaur hat because we're dealing with big Hollywood media, which is all about suspending your disbelief and taking you on for a ride. So where I was taught this stuff was cool, I was surrounded with dinosaur stuff as a young child of the 90s, born in 93. My daughter, she also has it surrounding her. It's in every children's section of any bookstore, of any library. We told her, and we tell her again and again, that dinosaurs are at best just for fun, but at worst and more truthfully a lie. And they need to be treated as pure fantasy because they make no sense. Supposedly the first bones were found in the 1840s, but really they made the first bones, and I believe dinosaurs are a combination of different animals, a giraffe and an elephant, these sort of chimeric characters. They're essentially Pokemon before Pokemon existed. And then when you do go to the exhibits, the museums, they tell you broadly that these are not the real bones. The bones are behind closed doors. So it's just all this hidden in plain sight mumbo jumbo. They're taking you on for a ride. And I think starting the conversation young is important. My daughter, as much as she still latches on to Santa Claus to some extent as a character, we're not celebrating Christmas. We're going to celebrate the solstices and equinoxes. That seems like the most sensible way to do it. I mean, people talk about the the tabernacle feasts, I believe, Feast of the Tabernacles and so forth, the different biblical holidays. Maybe we could celebrate those, but I feel like purely like celebrating the equinoxes and the solstices is a really good way to treat the earth with kindness and respect and dignity. And I think we also do that by acknowledging that these are fantasy creatures and changing the conversation from the outset. So obviously, I haven't shown my daughter Jurassic Park. It's a pretty disturbing. It's not disturbing per se, but it's a pretty visceral, scary movie at times. And then beyond that, it pushes this idea of evolution, dinosaurs, the whole rainbow puzzle piece craziness that they sell to us. Um, and you can't sit idly by. We're homeschooling, of course, and we'll be moving soon. And I'm so elated that we have this opportunity to homeschool in a place where we have tons of space and people to cooperate with that hopefully are similar minded and want the truth and the best for their children instead of the conveyor belt down to hell. And I think we'll find that. So, yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Just had to discuss this because I thought it was so interesting when my daughter responded to this boy's claim about dinosaurs and talking and being amazing, and then she brought she didn't say exactly this verbatim, but she said dinosaurs aren't real, and it gets children thinking. It gets children talking about why, and I think that's important. You should be having these discussions, not just taking them down the simplest route without any contemplation. So keep contemplating, y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon.